What's up, my Yugi Bros? I'm your host, the one, the only, the RJB0. Welcome to Casual Friday. All the noise that is going on in the background is the hustle and bustle of your average Friday morning in the Fox's Den. I'm going to see if I can actually get this video below 15 minutes. Why don't I get started straight away with your Q&A. We start with Ortomi. Ortomi or Tommy? Why do people have so many unpronounceable names? Wait, so are you liberal or a libertarian? This is for somebody who is as much of an insufferable nerd as I am. That's a really tough question because libertarians are a type of liberal. When you're talking about political science and political philosophy, liberalism is any philosophy whose basis is in individual liberty and in basically personal pursuit of happiness and truth and meaning and things like that. So libertarians are a form of liberal. We also have this concept of kind of the American welfare liberal. The difference is largely, the main difference that you're going to see between different sectors of liberalism is the concept of positive versus negative liberties. Liberals who are more like libertarians think of things in terms of negative liberties. And basically that means anything that starts with freedom from. So freedom from government intervention in your business, freedom from government impinging on your speech, freedom from having your stuff stolen, things like that, versus positive liberties, which we think of in America as the more liberal thing, which is freedom to. So freedom, I don't know, what are positive liberties? Freedom to muscles.
Freedom to bear arms.
Freedom to bear, well, the right to bear arms is also a negative liberty. Now, positive liberties are more things like freedom to have shelter, freedom to have, to do things with your life, to have employment, to experience things. And kind of the negative philosophies, or the negative liberties philosophies, are kind of about what things people shouldn't be able to stop you from, and positive liberties are about things that you should not be kept from having from any kind of circumstances, whether it's by like luck of the draw, whether it's because of nature, whether it's because of the ways that other people act. That's the kind of difference between the two. I am a mix between the two. I am what some people kind of snarkily call a New York Times liberal, where I kind of believe in both of them. I think it's important to have negative liberties and positive liberties because one is kind of useless without the other. So I'm not a libertarian. I'm a lot more libertarian than a lot of people who we in America would call liberals. But I am also much more, I suppose you could say, to the left of a libertarian. It's very strange. So no, I am not a libertarian, but I am a liberal, which libertarians are also. You asked a political question, I gave you an answer. Let's see. Mickey Noon asks, what do you think of the Destiny Hero support in Destiny Soldiers? I have no idea what the Destiny Hero support is in Destiny Soldiers. I'm about to look. Destiny Hero Celestial. It looks like Neos, but in black. When this card declares an attack, you can target one face-up spell card your opponent controls, destroy it. And if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. If you have no cards in your hand except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card, add one Destiny Hero monster from your graveyard. Wait, and one. Oh, okay. I thought it was like add one Destiny Hero from your graveyard to your hand and also draw two cards. But that's the cost. Banishing a Destiny Hero is part of the cost. You can draw two cards. That's not bad. That is a pretty good card. I don't see it like bringing Destiny Heroes back as a pure deck, but I could definitely see an engine coming out of that. The major problem I can see with it is the fact that aside from Diamond Dude, which isn't really used that much, the only Destiny Heroes that I can think of as being popular banish themselves already. So that's a problem that I see with that effect, but aside from that, I think it's a potentially very good card. I just don't see a good application for it right now. Frank King asks, simple question, is there a card in your opinion that has great potential but it's not popular in the current meta? Floodgate frickin' Trap Hole. That card is so good. It's so good. The other one, Ultimate Providence, there's also, what's it called? Unwavering Bond. the counter trap card that negates a pendulum and banishes it. Those are all cards that I think are really freaking good, but are not currently popular. The Divergency. Do you ever think Morphing Jar is going to come off the ban list? It's going to be a very, very long time before that card gets off the ban list, but there's a possibility that Konami decides to errata it, as they are wont to do with banned cards, and then they might bring it back. I'm not certain how they would errata it. Maybe you would have to... Maybe you would have to send those cards to the graveyard as a cost, so that they aren't sent by card effect. I don't know. There are a number of ways that card could potentially be nerfed. I don't know what they are, which means I don't know when it would be coming back. Ghost Trick Knight asks, how do you feel about Pot of Desires in decks such as Mermail and Burning Abyss, with combo cards being either limited or semi-limited? I personally chose not to play Pot of Desires in Mermail for that exact reason. But there are a lot of players who've been very, very successful running Mermail with Pot of Desires, and, you know, I can't necessarily question their success. I personally wouldn't do it, just because when I play the deck, I want to get as much utility out of Dragoons as possible, but the +1 is really powerful, especially in a combo deck. Some combo decks really need that +1, because extra combo pieces means extra combos. And so I think it's down to how well it tests for you. I personally will either always want to, use it after I've done my plays, which makes it somewhat suboptimal, or I feel like I'm going to be worried that I'm going to be banishing at least one Dragoons every time. And I've explained before, I think that you should get as many Dragoons off as you can. Ben Essex asks, what kind of support do you think Girgias need to make them a better option? I think they need something that doesn't require you to set it face down for a turn. I think that Girgia Gear is Girgi Armor is like the most necessary card to the deck in all of the iterations we've seen so far, and is just too slow. It's potentially possible that we could see them come back in a slower format than this one, but it would have to be a much slower format than it is right now, without nearly as much spot removal. One Fire Up that asks, what do you think is the best type of combo deck in the current meta? I mean, I am a little bit biased. I absolutely love Mermails. I don't think I will ever not love the deck, and it has been doing fairly well, despite my prediction that it would be a terrible matchup against ABC. I think Metal Foes is very, very powerful. That's a combo deck in a lot of ways. So I think those two decks are probably the best combo decks in the current meta. Clayfigure7 asks, what would it take for Graceful Charity to come back? A similar thing to Morphing Jar, I feel like. I think maybe for Graceful Charity to come back, they would have to banish the 2 cards before you draw. So you have to banish 2 cards and then draw. That might be something that I could see being used in the meta, and also being a much more nerfed form of it. Bailey Roper asks, I'm going to be that guy, but what do you think about Psyframes and before and after the new monster in Invasion Vengeance? I mean, I've seen them being played, and this format, I think that they've been kind of underwhelming, but I actually haven't looked at the support from Invasion Vengeance. I'm going to do that now.
How many questions do you get?
A lot.
Do you free screen them, or just pick the top 2?
I do them kind of in first come, first serve. Let's see. Psyframe Multi-Threader is a level 6. This card's name becomes Psyframe Driver while it is in the hand or graveyard. If a Psyframe card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is in your hand, you can discard this card instead. If a Psyframe Tuner is special summoned to your side of the field, and you have this card in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. I think that's a pretty darn good card. I could see that adding an important combo piece to Psyframes, which is going to be very important, because part of the problem with Psyframes this format is they're kind of a one-trick pony. Once they make their move, they don't really have a lot else to do. They're very, very reactive, and this card is much more proactive than current Psyframe support is. So I can see Psyframes doing something in the next meta. The problem is that this Psyframe support is coming out at the same time as a bunch of support for other things that I think is going to have more of an effect on the meta. Yugi Skills asks, how do you feel about some of ABC's cards like Buster Drake and Union Hanger? Relatively balanced for a high-tier deck, overpowered as hell, garbage? I think really the problem with the deck is Dragon Buster. I think that if it weren't for Dragon Buster, all of those other cards would kind of be underwhelming. There would be a lot of decks that do similar things but better. I mean, without Dragon Buster, the deck is basically a bad Satellar Knight deck. I think it's Dragon Buster that just makes them ridiculously powerful. So that is all the questions that I got this last Q&A Monday. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why. And comment with any questions you want me to answer at my next Casual Friday or Q&A Monday. Meanwhile, thank you all for watching. I'm your host, the one, the only, the RJB0, and I got a jet. See you guys.